combination special. Come along, enjoy your treats. This is Uncle Pete's.
The fact that they ask the questions, those challenging questions that no other media house would ask. So, shed light on those things that are in the dark, those stories that no one else wants to cover.
I grew up reading The Guardian, actually. It's a household name.
About The Guardian, one thing that I like, the human interest stories have increased.
See the investigative pieces on the human trafficking. I find that very interesting.
You go more in depth.
On sports, especially local sports, and that's one of my highlights for The Guardian.
Yeah, I've been in Guardian since The Guardian started coming out, started working. I was a newspaper man.
Because the stories that are being covered are well detailed and you get more facts.
At this point in time, I really like the Spanish section. I'm glad I like it. Like to know everything what is going on with us.
Also, I think the editorials, I think they're doing a good job and they're speaking the truth, and they're challenging the government to make things better.
Me in particular, of recently, the last 2-3 months, I've been reading The Guardian. I'm seeing a lot of news about the neighborhoods and the communities, and I even saw my community featured, and I was proud.
The Guardian.
The Guardian?
Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian.
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian. The Guardian is my first choice.
What is television? It seems like a simple question, but television means different things to different people. We in the Caribbean are very unique people. That's why we need unique television. Welcome to M&E TV, where we showcase our lives in the Caribbean. M&E TV is about us, the special way we talk, the way we walk, dance, move. M&E TV is about me. It's about you. M&E TV is about our amazing Caribbean experience.
Welcome back to the Arima Velodrome. We are getting ready for Game 2 of this afternoon's doubleheader. Saturday afternoon action in the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago will see Central Soccer World against AC Port of Spain in just a few moments. We spoke with representatives on either side of the divide earlier, and here's how they will approach this afternoon's encounter.
In the last 5 minutes, so we are trying to do better than what we did in the last game and walk away with the 3 points.
Okay, best of luck. Captain for CSW, Ryan Frederick.
Yeah, thanks.
We're here with Sean Del Augustus of AC Port of Spain. How do you feel about this evening's match against CSW?
Well, me and the boys, we are a bit focused because we had a difficult loss against, our last game was against Real Westford. So, we just try to be focused. We trained hard this week and we're ready mentally and physically focused for this game.
How do you recover from such a loss against a team like Westford?
To me, it was a mental strain because we had a really good game. The boys played well. It's just some sloppy mistakes in the back. But, mentally, we just trying to stay focused and you know, keep our mind on this game and not let the last game get in our heads.
Right. Thank you very much, Sean Augustus,
Yeah,
AC Port of Spain.
So there we heard from Ryan Fredericks, of the captain of Central Soccer World, and of course Central Soccer World will have him as their point man today. He'll lead the line alongside Leroy Wiley and David Maloney, who had a fantastic match last weekend. Joint man of the match against Police FC, a 3-1 win at the St. James Barracks, alongside Theophilus Bourne, who's back in the starting lineup again this evening. Philip John and Jason Joseph will anchor the midfield, while across the back they'll play Nathan Cador as left back, Tyreek Andrews left centre back, Trevon Mitchell at the right side of the centre of the defence, and of course on the right wing back position Simon Joseph. Keston Guy is in goal for Central Soccer World. For AC Port of Spain, they are coming off back-to-back defeats and will hope that this starting lineup will be able to address those issues. In goal, Jadel Poon-Lewis. Malik Meirez returns to the centre of defence alongside Maurice Ford. Kareem Eastman is the left wing-back, and Cian Thomas comes in this week at right wing-back. Anthony Charles will partner Michel Punanjaran in the midfield. Of course, up top, a front three. Kyle Bartholomew is into the starting lineup, and Cedille McLean is on the left side, either side of Shondell Augustus. That's how they'll line up for, and of course Shea Benny at the number 10 position. That's how Central FC will approach this one. And of course we're getting ready for kickoff as we see the captains, opposing captains, taking final instructions from referee Keelan Bacchus. AC Port of Spain is decked in all yellow for this afternoon's affair. Central Soccer World in black with that red trim. Keelan Bacchus will be assisted by some popular names. Dennis Changia is the fourth official. It's Ascension tournament action here from the Arima Velodrome. Game 2 of today's doubleheader. AC Port of Spain taking on Central Soccer World. The last time these two teams met also resulted in a 2-2 draw, as we saw in the earlier fixture, or the earlier reverse fixture between the first two teams to grace the field here today. We can see Nicholas Dillon also back on the bench after recent stints with the Trinidad and Tobago senior national team. Head coach Angus Eve opting not to travel with the big and burly frontman for Central Soccer World. He was absent last weekend in that really morale-boosting win over Police FC, but he's back now, having not traveled to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where Trinidad and Tobago defeated that country yesterday handsomely, 2-0. Goals scored by Neville Hackshaw and Levi Garcia. Jovan Ravello is back in the commentary booth. Jovan, what do you expect of this afternoon's affair as we anticipate kickoff?
I expect these teams to play in the same vein. As we saw before, there was a good marker put down in the first match between Central and Westford. CSW is on a bit of a rip, so expect them to start very quickly. Against an ACPOS team that can certainly grow in confidence as the match goes along.
Yeah, and they've certainly want to address what has been a turn of fortune for them in this competition. AC Port of Spain, they started this round with another defeat. Back-to-back defeats, but here we see the attack. Shouts go up for handball. Central Soccer World, though, will not be further punished by referee Bacchus. Of course, one of the changes by AC Port of Spain sees Nikal Stevens return to the substitutes bench. Last weekend, he was on in place of Michel Punanjaran, who was out with COVID-19. Here he is now on the ball. Punanjaran goes into the tackle. Central FC have it now with Sion Thomas. Malik Mires gets it forward, and it's going to be with Tyreek Andrews now. Lets it run all the way through to goalkeeper Guy. Here comes Central Soccer World with a ball that's asking a bit too much of Leroy Wiley. It's going to be a throw-in on that far side for AC Port of Spain. Kareem Eastman. So already this game seems to have a bit of bite to it. It's going to be, I anticipate, a really physical one. The man there, Simon Joseph, a late addition to this Central Soccer World team, in for Andre Nicholas, who was intended to start. Central Soccer World into a forced change before kickoff. Joseph will have it all to do against Sadil McLean and Kyle Bartholomew, who we anticipate will be interchanging along that left-hand side for AC Port of Spain. Meanwhile, though, here's Jason Joseph. He'll play this ball in towards Frederick. It seemed to surprise him. Benny gets it out wide to Thomas, and this is McLean now. McLean gets it back to Benny. This is good space for the Trinidad and Tobago midfielder. McLean on the overlap. Instead, Benny ups to try to spring Kyle Bartholomew and can't. CSW have it now, but they give it back. Anthony Simple Charles. Punanjaran. Eastman will give it to Bartholomew now, and it's back with Punanjaran. Steps into the space ahead of him. Bartholomew to Charles. That's a sloppy pass, asking Eastman to retrieve. Keeps it in play and plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper, Jadel Poon Lewis. Support on this right-hand side in the form of Mires. Sion Thomas just moves inside of his man and plays it wider to Bartholomew. Steps inside now, Bartholomew gets it back to Sion. He lets it run to McLean. Sion Thomas makes the overlap. On the inside, though, is Augustus. Augustus gets it. Augustus scores. And just like that, it's 1-0 to AC Port of Spain in just the 5th minute of play. Neat build-up from the men in yellow, and Augustus seemed to have scuffed the shot, but got just enough on it to beat Keston Guy in goal for Central Soccer World.
Yeah, bucking against the trend. AC POS rolling in the opener in the 5th minute. Excellent build-up, McLean involved. The finish, that man beautifully into the far post. The keeper could only watch and stare. It's 1-0 to AC POS.
And certainly you did anticipate that there might be an early goal in this one. Shondell Augustus delivering that time to give the advantage to AC Port of Spain. Here they come again with Bartholomew on that far side. He'll run against Simon Joseph. It just runs away from him, but Michel Punanjaran will pick it up just outside of the Central Soccer World 18-yard area. It comes eventually now to Sadil McLean. Charles to Benny. Good hustle there from Wiley. Then a mix-up between himself and Maloney. Punanjaran clips it out to the goal scorer, Augustus. Gets it back now, Michel Punanjaran. Gets it back to Augustus. Augustus trying to open up a shot. Good defending there by the Central Soccer World pair. Play this one into Maloney. It's a wayward pass. Cut out by Charles. Central Soccer World on the front foot. And Augustus just trying to be unselfish that time. Perhaps he needed to be. But they'll have it back here now, AC Port of Spain. It's with Jason Joseph for CSW. Given away again, so not really taking care of possession. Central Soccer World. And the more you allow this ACPOS midfield to stroke it around, the more susceptible you are to the likes of Che Benny. Can certainly make something happen out of nothing. That time the fancy no-look pass to Augustus. Cian Thomas now will whip across in, asking Bartholomew to get onto the end of it, just ahead of the left winger cutting inside.
Yeah, great ball there off the right wing. From the right back. Just ahead of the man in the box.
Yeah, Kyle Bartholomew that time arriving just a bit late. But certainly he'll be encouraged to continue to find himself making that kind of run if the crosses are as delicious as that one served in by Thomas. This is Malik Mirez taking it from his goalkeeper, Poon Lewis, who gets it back now. You look further afield. Sprays this one out. A good pass to Bartholomew, or rather to Kador. Bartholomew trying to unlock the CSW defense one more time. It's cleared away though by the big man Tyreek Andrews. Out for a throw-in on the far side for AC Port of Spain. Che Benny goes after it. So AC Port of Spain throw in. Possession turned over. This is Theophilus Bourne now to Frederick. Ball forward is looking for Maloney. Does well. Tripped up. No foul, says referee Bacchus. And Port of Spain will bring it forward. So almost as though Jason Joseph played a return pass that time to McLean. McLean will bring out open his old bag of tricks. Asking Augustus to try to pick it off of Andrews, but he can't, and it's a goal kick to Central Soccer World.
Yeah, CSW would be very disappointed to have conceded so early in this match, given the kind of momentum that they've had at the end of the first round and coming into the second round. You heard it mentioned earlier, that huge win over Police FC. Their first defeat at the Barracks. Augustus will want to marshal his troops against a very dangerous ACPOS midfield. Need to keep them contained, as you mentioned earlier. Can't allow them too much ease. They're certainly pressing very high against the CSW team. See how they can keep up this momentum and pressure that they've begun with.
This is Augustus, shrugs his man off and is trying to drive home. Seen off though for what he thought was a corner kick. The assistant referee indicates though that it's going to be a goal kick instead. Nice spread of supporters and spectators here at the Arima Velodrome. The members of one of the previous teams decked off in their fuchsia, Real Westfort United, following a 3-3 draw against Central FC.
They don't look as disappointed as I would have been, having left 2 points on the pitch. But you can't dwell on these things. Still have opportunities to improve their position on the Ascension tournament table. As ACPOS continues to try to improve against one of the form teams in the tournament right now. It's an offside called on the far side. So the Poonanjarans free kick. Taken quickly into the defense.
Yeah, I think Real Westport United certainly in that earlier encounter would have let it slip. As you can see, this AC Port of Spain team now is currently just ahead of them, just behind them rather, in 8th position. With the right result today, although they already trail against Central Soccer World, or rather they lead, so with the right result today, they can advance their cause. AC Port of Spain currently 8th on 9 points. Here they are in search of more. Benny gets the short corner kick from Bartholomew, swings it in, but Keston Guy rises and claims for Central Soccer World and attempts to get them going. This is a good ball forward toward Maloney. Good strength. Wins the throw-in off of Eastman. It's good to see Maloney again back in the starting lineup. He was on the verge of a potentially very bad injury with a nasty fall against Police FC last weekend. He was able to recover and played most of the match. So it's really good to see that he's playing from the start again this afternoon. Good distribution from Poon Lewis to McLean. This is a good ball cut out by Andrews. A good idea rather. He's back with McLean. His dancing shoes are on. They're just not on the same wavelength that time with Benny.
He has another chance here, Sadil McLean, one of the leaders in this ACPOS team. Popped up with a hat-trick in one of their previous wins against Maruga FC.
Keston Guy's troubles with distribution continue, and this time he is strung up. Kyle Bartholomew from a really loose clearance by Keston Guy. One touch to bring it down, another to settle it, and the third was magical to beat Keston Guy from quite some distance.
Yeah, and the first man to him was Che Benny, who scored from similar range. His finish may have had a bit more premeditation in it. This one was a gift. Poor clearance and bang, right back in it. Pass Guy. No chance for the keeper, and it's his own fault.
I could look at this all night long. Bartholomew, here he is again, looking to get on the front foot for AC Port of Spain, leading 2-0 after 15 minutes here at the Arima Velodrome.
Yeah, it's not gone the way that CSW would have expected it to. Last time these two teams met was a 2-0, 2-all draw. So you'll have to keep your eyes on this match. But 2 goals to the good ACPOS. Enjoying their football.
Yeah, from the looks of it, they've AC Port of Spain. Arima boy himself, Benjai, Rodney LeBlanc. Really subdued look on the AC Port of Spain bench, given that they lead 2-0 after just about 16 minutes.
Yeah, they just sat here and saw a 3-all draw, a 3-2 win. So they'll know that it's very early to be celebrating. Cedale McLean just missing out on that cross-field ball from Shondell Augustus.
Yeah, at this stage, certainly too early to stroke 3 points in the points column. But I would imagine that AC Port of Space met by a CSW head, and it's still bouncing around. Jason overcomplicated that time. Returns possession to CSW. Nathan Cador with the throw-in. He plays it forward now into Maloney. Phillip to Theophilus Bourne, a man we've not seen too much of given his active role in last weekend's result. That's a giveaway again. Actually, to win that. Certainly underworked so far. By my standards, he'll say differently.
I think by his own as well. And he'll be quite happy if his evening continues in this vein. His opposite number.
So this is better from Central Soccer World. Good passage of play. It's with Wiley now, who wins a throw-in on the far side off of Kareem Eastman. We saw the required patience that time, playing it out from a potentially tricky situation. Jason Joseph stringing the passes around, switching the point of attack. And here they are now with a throw-in. Maloney gets it back to, this is Wiley. Wiley on the turn, delivers the cross. It's too much on it for Bourne, who tracks it down now though. Gets it all the way back to Cador. He'll size up another cross, but can't beat the shortest man on the pitch, Michel Punandron. And here come AC Port of Spain on the attack. Cedale McLean has to chase. Tyreek Andrews is a big boy. And that time using every bit of his strength and experience to flip the script, so to speak, and win a throw-in off of McLean.
It's going to be a very interesting matchup between those two. We've seen McLean showing good intention as the physio trucks across to tend to Trevon Mitchell.
We saw his teammate Simon Joseph giving the signal for a substitution. Whether that was a premature decision, I think the final one will rest with the Central Soccer World technical staff. But it doesn't look too good for Mitchell. Seems to certainly be favoring his right hip.
CSW has shown warrior spirit throughout this tournament. We won't want to exit this early in the match, although we did see an early exit that turned into almost a goal winner in the previous match.
Yeah, Elijah Belgrave coming on in the 37th minute and certainly delivering for Ron Lafferay, the professor. Thought he had the game winner, but Central FC stole it late. 3-3 draw in this one. This one, though, currently happening. Josimar Belgrave, rather. His brother Elijah plays for Police FC. But in this one, 2-0, comfortable lead for AC Port of Spain. Their goals in the 5th minute scored by Shondell Augustus, and then in the 15th minute, Kyle Bartholomew with certainly the goal of the day so far.
I'm sure Mr. Belgrave has a couple ideas of 2 other candidates. But certainly a very good finish. Almost inch perfect.
This man has been quite active for AC Port of Spain, Kyle Bartholomew. This time he earns them a free kick just at the edge of the CSW penalty area. It's being lined up by Che Benny, and boy oh boy, would Keston Guy want to get his wall expertly positioned when a man like Che Benny stands over it. He's already been embarrassed for the day and would certainly not want to be here again. Che Benny gets the whip. You could see that he was trying to get that one over the wall and then down. And if he's to go on to have any more from that sort of position, definitely he'll continue to favor himself.
Yeah, he scored a free kick on the other end in that 3-2 loss to Westford. And banged it against the post. Crossbar from the penalty spot. His services aren't required just yet. AC POS with a relatively comfortable lead at this point in the match. Let's take a look at the CSW bench. Changes imminent.
Yeah, Trevon Mitchell certainly is done. He had a really gingerly walk over to the bench from that far side, as we see Che Benny drills in this corner kick onto the head of Augustus. Just can't direct it on goal. And that was a good opportunity again for AC Port of Spain, but to the point being made earlier, Trevon Mitchell's evening is done. He'll be replaced shortly, and it looks to be being readied for Central Soccer World. Strangely enough, a number 9, Simon Joseph, or rather no, the player Abraham Phillip. So Trevon Mitchell, a central defender, is being replaced by a number 9. We've seen stranger things happen, Jovan, but this number 9 will slot into the center of the CSW defense. He'll be immediately called into question had Che Benny been able to pick a pass. He wins it off of John Phillip now. Tries to slip Augustus through. And a good interception by the man just in, the substitute Abraham Phillip. Meanwhile, this is a good ball in by Ryan Frederick, taken care of by Jadel Poon-Lewis, who bowls it out to Mirez. Mirez brings it over the half line, plays it to Augustus. He's being hounded by Cador. The CSW bench go up in unison, asking for a free kick to be given. Or rather, they were asking for a throw-in last off of Augustus. They don't get it. It's going to be CM Thomas for AC Port of Spain. Good cross from McLean. Nobody's home though, and CSW make a mess of the clearance, and Che Benny brings a good save, a fumbling one that out of Keston Guy. For a moment, his heart would have been in his throat.
Yeah, he didn't want to be putting on a juggling act in his 6-yard box. Eventually got it under control and cleared. Here's Poonanjaran. Good exchange with Dave McLean.
Here's Bartholomew trying to link up with Augustus, the two AC Port of Spain goal scorers. As we have another look at this Che Benny chance all along the ground, a grass cutter as they call it. The guy pushed it into the air and then had to juggle it. Luckily, Tyreek Andrews was also present. I don't think that would have gone in.
Seen stranger things happen. After his earlier gaff, guy won't want to have another moment like that on the highlight reel.
So approaching half an hour gone in the first half of this second match of this afternoon's Ascension Tournament doubleheader. AC Port of Spain cruising, one would say, with a 2-0 lead, but Central Soccer will look to address that now. It's with Bourne. Wider of him is Nathan Kador. This is a good ball in. Good header. Ryan Frederick rising at the far post. Gets over it, but can't put it on target. Meanwhile, there seems to be another head injury on the field. The player down. It appears to be Mirez for AC Port of Spain. He's being treated now. As we see the CSW with a bit of an inquest into what happened there, leading to Ryan Fredericks' missed header.
Yeah, Frederick in the right place at the right time, but just not getting the right contact to cut this AC POS lead. Mirez seems to be okay.
So this is a AC Port of Spain goal kick. As we get another look at Mirez, just ensuring that he's not bleeding. He seems to be okay, fit and ready to return to play. By the time he does return, it could be 3-0 to AC Port of Spain. Boy, oh boy, is Kyle Bartholomew in the mood. And certainly very alert to the, at times, ill positioning of Keston Guy, that time looking to exploit it. Did everything right, just an inch or two to the left of the upright, and we might have seen a candidate for goal of the game.
Another one
against
from
himself.
Yeah, right. Another one from Kyle Bartholomew. A good one-time finish, just over the top on the half volley. He really has had the beating of Guy so far. The Central Soccer World keeper won't want to see him anytime soon, barreling toward his area. This ball goes to no one in particular, and out for a CSW throw.
Bartholomew accepts responsibility, as there seemed to be a mix-up there, a lack of communication between himself and Kareem Eastman as to who should go after that ball. Then it results in a throw-in for AC Port of Spain. They've since resumed, and another player is down. Anthony Charles, it seems, the man they call Simple, the captain of this AC Port of Spain team, rises to his feet again now. Maurice Ford to Charles, and on the outside of him is Cian Thomas, and ahead of him is McLean, always a willing runner. That time his cross not as accurate as he would have liked, but it's still alive for AC Port of Spain before it's eventually cut out. It's retained possession though. Maurice Ford into Benny. Here's Mirez. All the way over on the right side, he's popped up Mirez. On the left side, rather. He's playing on the right side of the center of defense. The ball eventually makes its way over to this right side now. It's with Thomas and McLean. Simple, Charles. Penangeron now. He has options to his right. One of them is McLean. A good rhythm to this AC Port of Spain side currently. Good passing, good firm, crisp passing. They're being forced back though.
What they're essentially doing is sucking all the impetus out of Central Soccer World. The less they have the half of the ball, the more frustrated they can become. They're chasing a 2-goal deficit and chasing here again. Just not good enough. That ball goes into touch. But very expert football. Very good early game management from AC POS. They're expressing themselves the way that they want to and showing a degree of comfort that will cause discomfort for their opponents.
Yeah, definitely they do seem to have a firm grip on proceedings here, and that passage of passing was evidence of that. As we see the work there of Gabriel Nagy ahead of this goal kick by Jadel Poon-Lewis. Bartholomew is seeking and searching. Eventually it goes out for a throw into Central Soccer World. Nathan Cador to David Maloney, another player who hasn't had much of an impact so far. Here he is again, Maloney. Wrestling his way through and then gets the shot off. But he screws it, splices at it, and it's harmless in the end.
Yeah, bullish stuff there from Maloney to get past 2 AC POS defenders. His final touch left much to be desired, but it's the kind of thing that you need to see from them. They have to break up this AC POS rhythm. They're controlling the flow of this match to a degree that they weren't doing earlier in the season, so it's good to see some development in the way that they've played. CSW won't be too pleased with these developments though. Here's Che Benny looking for Bartholomew. Guy is very alert to the threat posed by the AC POS goal scorer.
Yeah, that time he was right on spot to claim Che Benny's inventive pass. AC POS win it back. This is Punangeron. Bartholomew now. He has Eastman in support. Benny wants a taste. He won't get it, not just yet anyway. Punangeron finds Benny now. He has space and he has support in Sion Thomas. He'll look to play an early cross in. Guy that time able to scoop it up. Bowls this one out to Tyreek Andrews. Ryan Frederick jumps quite deep again, so he's finding himself further and further away from his strike partner in David Maloney. having to do so in order to cause some kind of disruption. But here he is now on the drive. On the outside is Kador. Kador inside to Maloney now, and then again, Bourne had wanted it played in front of him. And it's a giveaway. A lot of room on this right-hand side for McLean. Uses it to get past the substitute and then can't deliver on the cross. So again, AC Port of Spain seeming to find it quite easy in this first half, as that time McLean demonstrated.
Yes, Sadale McLean, if he gets one of these right, it's potentially goal-scoring threat from the crosses. A couple times he's had the beating of his man on the right side.
Here's Kador coming forward for Central Soccer World. Tries to pick out Bourne. Myriad steps across. Better this by Central Soccer World. A bit more patience. Tyreek Andrews now has it. Wiley comes in support. Wiley and Frederick. This is good. Frederick. Simon Joseph now. Cross is blocked and it comes back out to Philip. He'll have a crack. Charge down and AC Port of Spain look to come forward. It's one back by Jason Joseph and then one back again by AC Port of Spain. Che Benny. McLean is on the run, gets it now. What a ball. This is Sadale McLean. He's in. He should make it 3. He should have made it 3. In the end, unable to even draw a save out of Keston Guy. As the Arima Velodrome spectatorship remonstrates with McLean, usually clinical from that kind of chance.
Yeah, even the neutrals had their hands on their heads. Excellent ball from Che Benny to release Sadale McLean. Did speak about his scoring exploits in the first round. Just not finding the target on that occasion. This is a shot from distance, a sign of the futility with which Central Soccer will have faced against AC Port of Spain. This is Thomas.
Angeron now trying to pull the string. This is a decent looking ball. Asking Augustus to go after it, but Guy was alert. And well shielded by Tyreek Andrews as well. A player is down. Kador. Yes. Making some checks to the back of the leg there, the hamstring. It seems as though it was may have been a pull. Doesn't seem to be in any amount of pain, but certainly when you feel a twinge, it's best to take the necessary course of action.
Yeah, false alarm for the men with the stretcher just below us. Always at the ready. As the local wildlife comes out to look at some football on a Saturday evening. The Ascension tournament really is for everyone.
Birds included.
Come on now.
Meanwhile, here's Jason Joseph and Frederick in tandem pulling the string. John Philip gets it now. Plays in Maloney, rather Philip John. My apologies. Maloney can't deliver the cross. So it's been a frustrating time of it, 43 minutes or so for Central Soccer World, coming off of the back of 3 wins, including a really enormous performance against Police FC last weekend. They've not been able to put it together this time. It's been a stroll in the velodrome, so to speak, for AC Port of Spain with a 2-0 lead, courtesy goals from Shondell Augustus and Kyle Bartholomew, a spectacular one at that, the second. So it's been pretty comfortable for the team in yellow. That time, though, Mirez unable to pick out McLean down below us. Central Soccer World has just over a minute to try to get something encouraging to take into the break. Don't expect that there will be too much time added on. Clean now, clears it, but only as far as Joseph. He looks ahead for Wiley. Wiley was trying to get the contact of his man, who just left him to lean back on nothing. And AC Port of Spain get it cleared. This latest throw-in on the far side for Central Soccer World, taken by Simon Joseph. Wiley turns his man, and a good tackle. That ball fizzes across Jadel Poon-Lewis's goal. As a result of the tackle, it's going to be a throw-in on this near side for Central Soccer World. And fourth official, Dennis Changia, prepares to show us 2 minutes additional to end the first 45. Jovan, thoughts on the progress of this match so far?
Yeah, it certainly caught a fire in the first 15. As early as the 5th, Shondell Augustus with the opener. AC POS, like we've said a couple times, are comfortable since then. Cruising into halftime here with a 2-0 advantage. I thought it was really good football from them, and they've managed the way that they wanted to play this match from start to halftime. We'll see if Central Soccer World can come with some disruptions to that in the second. Certainly we know that on form, and given the performance, which has to be said, it was their performance of the tournament last weekend, that this is a side that shouldn't be counted out, no matter who the opposition is. But ACPOS certainly good value for this advantage. Sadale McLean working tirelessly. He hasn't been able to get that assist. Should have had a goal himself.
So half of the additional 2 minutes played. Central Soccer World trying to find something that will rouse them in this second half, but they'll have to be careful here. Che Benny is on the prowl. Ups against trying to be too ambitious. They'll try to see off the remainder of this time. So we thought Bartholomew was trying to be cheeky. Central Soccer World give it away though. It's with Benny now. Tyreek Andrews will dive in. He has to be careful. Commits the foul. Benny is a really cerebral player, and he knew exactly what he was inviting that time. He wins the free kick. And I suspect that maybe this pending free kick may be the final kick of this first half.
And what an opportunity it is for ACPOS to close off this first half. They can find something from this. They'll make the way back certainly more daunting for Central Soccer World. Goalkeeper Guy really needs to be alert. Two standing over it. One of them is Che Benny. So they go the other way, and that is over the bar. And like we said, that is the final kick of this first half. ACPOS lead 2-0. Goals from Shondell Augustus and Kyle Bartholomew. This man has been, as usual, very central to their hopes. Che Benny.
Yeah, it was a first half that really didn't ask too much of AC Port of Spain from a defensive standpoint. Central Soccer World will certainly want to shake things up in this next half. This is how it unfolded. Cedale McLean coming forward, playing a good ball into the feet of Shondell Augustus, and the finish was down low to Keston Guy's right. And then we saw Guy with a really terrible distribution here. Good first touch, good second to set himself there by Kyle Bartholomew. And then he lashed it past Guy, who was recovering, scampering to his right. He made the dive, but couldn't get a hand on it. He did actually, but couldn't keep it out. And that made it 2-0 in favor of AC Port of Spain with just 15 minutes played in the first half. Che Benny had a good sight from this free kick. Couldn't get it down in time though, and of course Keston Guy let off the hook. Continued to be let off the hook, Guy, including on this occasion, making a double save from Che Benny. Central Soccer World did have the opportunities as well, including this header from Ryan Frederick. Couldn't direct it on goal, and Jadel Pun-Lewis has not had to make a save in this first half at all. Bartholomew continued to be a nuisance, certainly a nightmare for Keston Guy. That time his volley coming off the upright. And of course this one just fizzled out into a number of chances and half chances for either team, including one for Cedale McLean, which he should have buried here, put through on goal by Che Benny, and just couldn't hit the target. Could have been a different storyline, but still AC Port of Spain will go into the halftime break the more satisfied of the two teams, with a 2-0 lead in this, the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago, strutting, as we just saw that feathered friend there, strutting into the halftime break with a 2-0 lead. We'll take a break here and come back with action in the second half. Stay with us.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival, if you'll interview him, eh?
But how could you defend one shot, one kill?
What? You want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
Lasso Freight Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Our facilities, security checks ensures that all vehicles are secured. Our newly renovated bathrooms are always kept in a clean working order. Need repairs and maintenance? We have you covered. Our qualified workmen will get the job done. Boat storages, from our marina, you can easily push off for a family sailing trip. Or out fishing with the boys. fun DDI experience with friends. Boat repairs, secured parking, extensive camera system, boat charters, boat rentals, down the island parties. Contact us at 1-868-634-1653. Lasso Frame Maritime Limited, the best in marina services. Life's better on a boat.
There's a taste in the air everywhere. Feel the vibe cause it's something to share. Smooth, rich and creamy, you'll find it right here. Makes you smile, relax a while, it's fun and good cheer. Ooh, enjoy every scoop. Ooh, every taste will get you hooked. We have flavors that you love, a combination special. Come along, enjoy our treats. This is Uncle Pete's.
The fact that they ask the questions, those challenging questions that no other media house would ask. So, shed light on those things that are in the dark, those stories that no one else wants to cover.
I grew up reading The Guardian, actually. It's a household name.
About The Guardian, one thing that I like, the human interest stories have increased.
See the investigative pieces on the human trafficking. I find that very interesting.
You go more in depth.
On sports, especially local sports, and that's one of my highlights for The Guardian.
Yeah, I've been in Ghana and the Guardian started coming out, started working. I was a newspaper man.
Could the stories that are being covered are well detailed and you get more facts.
At this point in time, I really like the Spanish section. I'm glad I like it. Like to know everything, what is going on with us.
Also, I think the editorials, I think they're doing a good job on this speaking in truths, and they're challenging the government to make things better.
Me in particular, of recently, the last 2-3 months, I've been reading The Guardian. I'm seeing a lot of news about the neighborhoods and the communities, and I even saw my community featured, and I was proud.
Oh, The Guardian.
The Guardian?
Guardian.
Trinidad
Guardian.
The Guardian.
The Guardian.
Trinidad Guardian. The Guardian is my first choice.
What is television? It seems like a simple question, but television means different things to different people. We in the Caribbean are very unique people. That's why we need unique television. Welcome to M&E TV, where we showcase our lives in the Caribbean. M&E TV is about us, the special way we talk, the way we walk, dance, move. M&E TV is about me. It's about you. M&E TV is about our amazing Caribbean experience.
We are the fourth estate. We educate, we inform, and we hold those in authority, politicians, business leaders, and others, to account.
Connecting the public to the truth drives our purpose here at CNC3. When we stand behind a desk every single night, a lot of people don't know that we're a huge part of the news process. We eat, breathe, and sleep news. And that reflects in everything that we do as a news team.
Every day we tell the stories of people's journey through life. Stories of their success, stories of their sadness, stories of their grief, stories of their glory. We're the mirror in which society looks at itself.
When a storm is coming, everyone always thinks worst case scenario, and sometimes it may just be a brief shower or two. It's not always going to be a green veil level event. So it's important to have the most credible and accurate information coming from a verified source.
Welcome, you're watching the 7 o'clock news on CNC3.
Back at the Arima Velodrome for the second half of this match between AC Port of Spain and CSW. Central Soccer World are trailing 2-0. First half goals from Sean Del Augustus and Kyle Bartholomew in the 5th and 15th minute respectively. Have AC Port of Spain well in control of this one. Very relaxed huddle, very relaxed spectatorship on the Vibes side of the Arima Velodrome, the bleachers. You see the change for CSW as they try to freshen up their lineup. A couple of them, 3 actually.
Dion Lewis, the first man to enter. Nicholas Dillon will also make an appearance. And Kemuel Rivers is the third player in. Dillon on for Maloney. And Rivers will join the huddle. He replaces Kador, who we saw pull up near the end of that first half. So we're getting ready for kickoff in this second half. Referee Keelan Backus makes one final check, ensuring that the numbers are correct, and sends them on their way in this second half. Che Benny immediately looking for Bartholomew, and he wins an early corner kick for AC Port of Spain.
A very pensive looking CSW bench. Head coach Randolph Boyce staring into the ether. Little shake of the head. The work is cut out for them in this second half. As Michel Poon Angeron lines up this corner, first of the second half.
Swings it in now. Keston Guy goes in chase. Bartholomew gets the final shot toward goal, but it's repelled on the goal line. Central Soccer World dodging an early bullet in this second half.
And from the man who has provided a couple of those shots, stuff of nightmares for Keston Guy. Bartholomew with these one-touch finishes has kept CSW's keeper on his toes. So through from Thomas.
Cleared away, picked up now by Punanjaran to Eastman, and he spreads it wide to Benny. Benny will deliver, aimed at McLean, but Kemuel Rivers gets the defensive header, and here they are now on the front foot, CSW. This is Dion Lewis, one of the substitutes. To his outside is Wiley, and waiting on the inside, Nicholas Dillon. He's going to get a shot in, but straight to Jadel Poon Lewis, who's relieved that that shot didn't ask him to do too much. He keeps his clean sheet intact.
Didn't look too panicked, even though Dillon was looming large in front of him. Kept his head and held on to it well.
It's going to be a throw in on that far side, Sion Thomas. Good flick on. Anthony Charles gets his foot in, but it's cleared away now. Thomas swings it forward. It's back with Charles. That's a foul. Jason Joseph. Another look at the AC Port of Spain technical area. So an early free kick for AC Port of Spain. They've started this half in much the same manner as they finished it. Cian Thomas with the delivery. No AC Port of Spain players in attendance. It comes back out now to Eastman. Checks inside and plays Michel Punanjaran through his onside. Good back heel to Augustus, the opening goal scorer. Back to Benny, back to Punanjaran. Still in an offside position. Swings it in. It almost, the miscued clearance beats Keston Guy, but a good save, a good reflex save by Keston Guy. He'll certainly be proud of that, especially given the manner in which he's been beaten twice previously in this encounter.
Yeah, Guy certainly starting better than he did in the first half. Able to repel that effort. He's still under the cosh, but will be very happy to keep the ball out of the net against an aggressively pressing AC POS team. Bartholomew just showing where he wanted the ball. Didn't get it. Shondell Augustus doing well to just drift out to the left and draw the attention of the central defenders from CSW. Who build from the back.
Throw in for Central Soccer World. Here they come now, Nicholas Dillon. He's brought down by Mirez. Good strong play by him, a good turn. Asking Mirez to a little bit more extreme to stop any danger that loomed, and it's going to be a free kick now for Central Soccer World, manned by Joseph and Rivers, but it's wasted. And now AC Port of Spain will come forward. Che Benny with a big switch to the near side. Bartholomew will size his man up. This is, and then just can't deliver the final pass. CSW come away with it now. This is Wiley. Dillon had gone offside, but the pass itself wasn't accurate, and it's with Poon Lewis now.
Yeah, that tackle on Mirez, that tackle from Mirez on Dillon shows that they've been watching tape. He does come on and cause a couple problems for defenses. Having a very good run, getting a national call-up. Mirez very smooth in possession out of defense there, just losing out. And then winning a free kick, and it switches right back to CSW. There's a player on the pitch, looks to be Shondell Augustus. Holding that right ankle, appears to be taped a bit. That's grounds for the physio to come on and attend to him.
Central Soccer World head coach Boyce just making a point to his fellow staff members that his team has not at all dealt too well with this match.
A bit more relaxed. A bit more relaxed behind them.
A bit of chatter during the stoppage. Bacchus will return, referee Bacchus that is, will return possession to Central Soccer World. This is Dillon now to Jason Joseph. Played away by Tariq Andrews. Header won by Ryan Frederick, but good skill there and good touch by Anthony Charles. And then Che Benny helps it on. This is Sidale McLean. He was in a similar position earlier towards the back post. There's a player. He won't need it. He puts it away, McLean, and celebrates by putting on his ski mask or rather it's a goblin's mask. So it's all happening here at the Arima Velodrome.
And it's a real horror story for Keston Guy.
There he is, he just can't believe it. And then McLean gifts his mask to a young spectator. Let's have another look at it. McLean through on goal, picks his spot and tucks it away to put AC Port of Spain 3-0 to the good. He'll get a yellow card for his celebration. Referee Bacchus smilingly delivers that caution. Certainly, he would have enjoyed the celebration as much as we did, Jovan, but
a bit of fun policing there from referee Bacchus. It's understood. It's a risk that these players take. I'm sure it's worth it for Cedale McLean. Benito Mirez. Really good from Thomas on the far side. Almost finding Sean Del Augustus on the run. Punanjaran tries the same ball, doesn't come to anything.
Good stuff here by Central Soccer Will to release John, but he can't get the better of Maurice Ford. Ford gets it back now from his goalkeeper. Plays it up into the midfield where Anthony Charles receives. A lot of space for these AC Port of Spain players. Central Soccer World, they certainly would want to address this, perhaps press a bit higher. Certainly you don't want to drop too deep against a team that is already 3-0 up. And with the sort of expressive players in their lineup as Benny, Punanjaran, Anthony and company. Here's one of them again, Sean Del Augustus. Good hold up. Good restraint as well. And you can see Nicholas Dillon waving to the players behind him to step up. Here's McLean trying to go to work on his markers. Picked up by Thomas. And it's blocked out for a throw-in by Abraham Phillip. Throw into AC Port of Spain.
To your point, CSW have really big gaps in their lineup. Dillon is a lone striker and very isolated at certain points. They would need to press ACPOS a bit more. As ACPOS keeps pressing, that's Che Benny over bar. He looks back knowingly. He's had better luck from that distance, but it's okay. It's a 3-0 lead for them. No smiles here from head coach Boyce. He's having a tough evening. There you can see the frustration on his face. His body language is very, very aggressive toward his players, and hopefully they can translate some of that aggression from the bench into the way that they play. There we see Dillon again calling his players up closer to him.
Speaking of calling, good night to Victoria Swift, Trinidad and Tobago Women's International. Probably phoning for assistance for this Central Soccer World team, a Central girl herself. That time Kareem Eastman just cramped by the touchline, and it's going to be a throw-in to Central Soccer World.
To her credit, she's actually been to a couple of these doubleheaders at the Arima Velodrome. At least 3 weeks in succession. Looking on, supporting, interacting with her fellow nationals. It's very good to see.
Yeah, it's always encouraging to see footballers supporting football. You know, the women's national team currently in the midst of the latter stages of preparation as they head off to the CONCACAF W Championship in a matter of weeks. And she's still making the time to be here, Victoria Swift. There she is again. She's often even told us that her trips here to Arima have come after exhaustive training with Kenwyn Jones and company. So credit to Victoria and all of the other women's nationals that we've seen here over the weeks.
Yeah, the women's team has really been on the rise recently. Kenwyn Jones taking a very good interest in women's development and asking that the country show them the respect that they deserve. They are our representatives. Ms. Swift features heavily among them. One of the more promising prospects, the Club Leon defender.
What we might term show pick.
In my eyes, at least.
Back to the action here. This is AC Port of Spain really comfortably managing this game. Maurice Ford gets it to Anthony Charles, and it's all the way back now to Poon Lewis, inviting the Central Soccer World attack to come forward. And then trying to play it in behind them. This is one back by AC Port of Spain, and they are streaming forward now through Augustus. Gets it wider to McLean. Desperate lunge there by Rivers. It's with Benny. Another desperate lunge, and then eventually they do get it away from the danger area, but back to a yellow. And this is Mirez just spreading it wide to Cian Thomas. He's all alone. He has support in Shea Benny. Instead goes to McLean. Benny now all the way back to Mirez. So they've been afforded the luxury of time and space, AC Port of Spain. They've used it to good effect as well. Not hustled too much. And now we see the Central Soccer World players willing to come forward and challenge. But again, the gap between the attack and midfield is often exploited. But here comes Ryan Frederick. He wins it and then just gives it right back away. McLean now, AC Port of Spain coming forward. 3-on-3. McLean beats his man. Cuts it back to Bartholomew, and he's done better in this match. Certainly would have counted on himself to do better that time, as McLean really provided it as easily as you would like in that sort of position for an attacker.
I think he prefers the harder ones. He's hit the post on the half volley. He's scored from distance with a one-touch. That one just too easy for his liking, it seems.
Yeah, some players specialize in the impossible almost. I can think of a few. And oftentimes when it's as easy as that chance presented itself, tend to sometimes overthink, sometimes overcomplicate themselves. That time, Bartholomew certainly should have done better with the finish.
Yeah, 4-0 would have really, really killed this match off. We're in the 63rd minute.
Head coach Walt Norega on his feet. Perhaps sending a reminder to his players that sometimes comfort can become complacency. As we saw here, this is a giveaway high up the pitch. A really laxed back pass by Mirez, asking Jadel Poon Lewis to first keep it in touch and then get it away from goal. Couldn't get it to an AC Port of Spain player, and although Central Soccer World picked it up high up the field, they couldn't make it count. Another look at the CSW bench, including substitutes. Theophilus Bourne, who started this match and was taken off at halftime. So too Nathan Kador, who seemed to pick up an injury. But here they come now. This is a good shot and a good save by Jadel Poon Lewis to preserve his clean sheet. Wiley was put through on goal by Simon Joseph, and on the turn, drilled it towards that far post. Jadel Poon Lewis certainly had to be alert, and he was.
Yeah, it's good to see that he's still awake. Hasn't had much to deal with just yet. Let's not give him a commentator's curse on this occasion, but doing well here to spot it through the crowd and just tip it away with some help from his friends. Good clearance by Thomas.
Important as well that he turned it away from goal and away from any oncoming CSW player. Poon Lewis, an excellent save that time to preserve the clean sheet. AC Port of Spain will continue to lead 3-0. Just about 25 minutes left in this match. Shondell Augustus will give chase. Won't get there before Tyreek Andrews, who helps it back towards Keston Julian, and Keston Guy rather, and gets it back now. Philip John out to Joseph. Wiley has the overlap, also has John in support. Tidy stuff there by the Central Soccer World midfield, and eventually played out wide to Kemwell Rivers. He has support, gets it back to Jason Joseph, and again Ryan Frederick just dropping deep to add that extra body in midfield. But certainly they would prefer if he pops up closer to goal. Definitely a goal threat for Central Soccer World, and that time again you could see the desperation of the final ball, asking too much of Nicholas Dillon, and now it's back with Poon Lewis.
Yeah, Poon Lewis doing what keepers are meant to do in these types of situations. Soak up some time, frustrate the opposition. You'll realize these players are very slow to get to their feet. Take a lot of time on these little occasions that they have the call from the referee. Ensure that they aren't harried in any kind of way. Continue to add to the frustration that is rife within this Central Soccer World team. And it will be frustrating for them after the type of week they had last week to come here and be trailing by 3 goals.
That time, McLean mix up in communication with Benny, but they win it back here. AC Port of Spain, and trying to just drill home the advantage. You have to be a bit more careful in these moments. A bit more intent needs to be shown, as Benny is trying to do here, taking the ball off the toe of Maurice Ford and playing it forward. That's a foul on Anthony Charles.
Yeah, Benny's passing has really been sublime this evening. He's been spraying it about. He's been finding those little areas. He's full of energy. He's really enjoying his football this evening. This is another ball inside and eventually cleared by CSW.
Shondell Augustus perhaps may have gotten a call from the man over his shoulder. Looks to be Bartholomew. He let that ball past him, but it was eventually blocked out and then cleared by Central Soccer World. Throw in to AC Port of Spain. Eastman to Benny. Benny can't return it, and it's picked up now by Dillon. I think it's incumbent upon Central Soccer World to try to spice things up a bit. You see a substitution being readied. Last week they introduced Moses Jaikaran to good effect to get the winner against Police FC. Well, not the winner, but the one that certainly put the game to bed. Here they'll be in a slightly different situation, trying to find a way back into the match. This is a cross from Wiley, a good one at that. It's bouncing around. Poon Lewis gets there, but not before. It's turned into the net by the captain, Ryan Frederick. So it could turn out to be just what the doctor ordered for Central Soccer World. The defending on that occasion by AC Port of Spain left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, and Frederick won't mind. He snapped up at an opportunity. Poon Lewis is still prone. Seemed to have taken a knock in that sequence. And we see it again, not cleared. And Ryan Frederick just banging it off the keeper into the back of the net.
The aerial threat of Dillon again was instrumental in that goal. It was actually Frederick who rose first at the near post. Got a bit of a flick on and then reacted fastest to tuck away the loose ball, and at that juncture he's also being substituted. He'll be replaced by Keelan Burnett in the 70th minute. As Poon Lewis gets back on his feet after receiving some attention. So that goal coming in the 69th minute. Ryan Frederick making it 3-1. Central Soccer World will have 20 minutes to try to get 2 goals. And AC Port of Spain will have the same amount of time to restore or attempt to restore their 3-goal cushion.
Sometimes all you need is a bit of luck, a bit of bounce to overturn a bad evening. Frederick there benefiting from that. As we see Bartholomew take to the turf.
AC Port of Spain are going to introduce 2 new players to the fray. One of them, Jaheem McPhee. The other, Said Charles. Charles would have been a mainstay for them in the earlier portions of this competition. He's since fallen away, replaced by Maurice Ford in this starting lineup, who's shifted Kareem Eastman to the left side of defense. But Said Charles will make an appearance today in short order. Referee Keelan Bacchus inquires of his 4th official whether that substitution or the documentation is ready. It's not, so play will continue with the 11 on the field. Good play by Augustus. Bartholomew gets it fouled to Eastman. He'll swing across over. It's picked up at the far stick now by McLean. He's trying to be clever. But it's cut out, and Central Soccer Way pass it out of the back. This now is Dion Lewis. Has Philip John in support, but he's harassed by Bartholomew, and Benny has it now for AC Port of Spain. Turns on a dime, goes one way, then the next, gets it back from Augustus. Augustus is still in there. Eventually it gets back to Guy. And he recycles possession for Central Soccer World. But they give it back and then win it back. Give it back again. Mirez. Neat. Then loses possession. That's a lunging challenge by Anthony Charles. Referee Bacchus doesn't see anything wrong with it. AC Port of Spain win it back, and this is a ball sprayed out towards McLean. He can't keep it in play though. And this is the stoppage that AC Port of Spain would have wanted in order to make those substitutions. Out is number 10, Augustus, the opening goal scorer. In, number 9, Jaheem McPhee.
Like for like there. It's been good energy from Sean Del Augustus today. The 2 goal scorers will leave. Kyle Bartholomew also exiting.
And in his stead, Said Charles, as mentioned. Referee Bacchus had to think twice about that and eventually makes the right decision. A foul on Nicholas Dillon by Maurice Ford is going to lead to a CSW free kick from just about 30 yards out. Jason Joseph prepares it. 15 minutes left. He's aiming towards the back post and the head of Dillon. At least 2 players were beyond him, and had he just known that and let it run, they might have been able to beat Jadel Poon Lewis for a second time in this match.
Yeah, and this is why Nicholas Dillon is on the pitch. A little more patience could have served him then. Call, like you said, from one of his players. But he is there to throw his weight around and get up to those high balls, chase down defenders and make life really uncomfortable for them. Their discomfort will increase if Central Soccer World is to find the back of the net again. They know that they're very close, and you can feel a bit of a swing in this match. ACPOS don't look too flustered, but they will have to be very mindful of the threat that is posed by their opponents as they continue to soak up some time. That man, Keston Guy, beaten 3 times this evening as Thomas gets us restarted. It's all the way back from Mirez, sorry. Eventually cleared.
There's Dillon again. He's going to attract attention. He'll be an obvious target for Central Soccer World. And the AC Port of Spain defense will certainly have to be diligent in dealing with that threat. That time he was double teamed. Possession won back. It's going to be another throw in here for AC Port of Spain. Sion Thomas all the way back to Mirez. Plays it across now to Ford. This is again careless stuff. It falls to Dillon, but he can't beat Poon Lewis.
That had to be the chance, I think, at this point in the match. And Nicholas Dillon really should have been a bit more clinical. They did well to carve it out. Good high pressure. It's what he's been calling for most of his second half. Just needed to recognize the potential of that opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage in the game, with the scenario being what it is, Nicholas Dillon had to put that beyond Poon Lewis. And one would expect that with the experience that he's been gaining in and around the national team, with the position or the role that he holds within this Central Soccer World team as the deliverer, One would have expected it to done much better. And again, this is another giveaway. And another goal. That's Dion Lewis picking up the loose ball and putting it beyond Poon Lewis in the AC Port of Spain goal. And just like that, Jovan, as you mentioned, this game was showing indications of swinging more and more in favor of Central Soccer World. And there is the goal that one would expect. Sets things up really nicely heading into the final 10 minutes.
Here we go again. 3-2 in the 80th minute. So, nail-biting time. This ball was very poor. Substitute and stand-in captain Dion Lewis taking his time, composing himself, and finishing right through the legs of Jadel Poon Lewis to make it 3-2. Central Soccer World truly in the ascendancy against ACPOS. Remember the last time these two teams met, it resulted in a 2-all draw. And like we heard earlier, Central coach speaking about deja vu, and can we have some deja vu here? No. It's a good recovery from Mirez.
Keelan Burnett that time was the man tearing through. Mirez had to make a recovery, and he had to make a decision as well. He couldn't be rash and dive into a tackle. As we see a really confused expression on the face of Walt Noriega, the AC Port of Spain head coach. He's perhaps wondering what has happened in the last 10 minutes of this match. Of course, Ryan Frederick would have been the man that brought Central Soccer World back into contention, making it 3-1 in the 70th. And 10 minutes later, by the 80th minute, it was Dion Lewis cutting the lead to just 1.
Yeah, the substitute doing the job for CSW and causing some forehead furrows for Mr. Noriega.
Here they come again. Mirez does well enough, gets this one away to Thomas, who will look upfield towards their new big man, newly introduced McPhee. He wins the header. Sadir McLean, and again, not for the first time this evening, he's rushed himself into the finish, and he's feeling the pain, certainly of the embarrassment of that attempt. So the urgency has seemed to gone out of this AC Port of Spain team. And they've become really, really sloppy, especially with their passes back toward goal. At that time, we saw Poon Lewis taking no chances on a underserved pass back from Maurice Ford.
Yeah, with a lot of pressure coming in as well. You'd think after the 2 chances that they gave, first one to Dylan and the other one that went to Lewis that gave them the second goal, you think that AC Port of Spain would be a little more vigilant now. They've seen their lead cut to just 1 from 3 after leading 2-0 at the end of the first half and really in the first 15 minutes of this match. Complacency must not set in for either of these teams as we enter the final knockings of this match. We're in the 83rd minute. Substitute is getting warmed.
Yeah, the man down there going through the paces. Central AC Port of Spain, rather. Nikal Stevens, he would have played last weekend, and then this is another substitute being prepared, it seems. Jabari Charles. McLean is helped to his feet and off of the field. it seems as though that will be all he wrote. He got the third goal for AC Port of Spain this evening. As we see a chance here for Central Soccer will blast it above the crossbar by Jason Joseph. It's going to be goal kick AC Port of Spain.
Yeah, good shift from Cedale McLean. He had an assist and a goal. Certainly a candidate for the man of the match in this one, should things go to plan for ACPOS. So far this evening, things haven't gone to plan for the team that has held the lead.
Meanwhile, yet another player has gone down with what we suspect to be cramps.
And the direct action medical team is at the ready, bounding onto the pitch. In many respects, they have to be also in tip-top condition.
Meanwhile, referee Changia is readying the fourth official rather is readying the indication that the substitutions being made. We'll see Anthony Charles off for Nikhil Stevens. And the other player in is Jabari Charles. And he replaces McLean. Jardel Poon-Lewis there, who a man at one stage seemed on course for a clean sheet. It's since been taken away from him. Two really good finishes by Central Soccer World. The first by Ryan Frederick, the captain, and the other from Dion Lewis, the substitute captain.
Yeah, ACPOS haven't had a clean sheet this season. They were looking on course for their first. Now they have to soak up some pressure here. Real backs to the wall job to get CSW out of their area.
Botched clearance there by Tyreek Andrews, turns over possession, and this is a good ball by McPhee looking for Che Benny. Guy though was able to recover. Gets this one out to Dylan. Kemuel Rivers is in support, but Dylan had returned from an offside position. And a potential breakaway attack breaks down for Central Soccer World. In the do-or-die moments of this match. Jabari Charles keeps that one in play, but turns over possession. This is Burnett. Well guarded by Nikhil Stevens. Throw in high up this near side for Central Soccer World. Simon Joseph into Wiley. Shows a bit too much of it to Charles. Another throw in for Central Soccer World. So it was around this moment in the previous match, Dover, that I asked you a question. I'll dare to ask it again. What is the job of AC Port of Spain now to defend this lead?
That shot there almost changing the conversation. Nicholas Dillon through the crowd looking for the first post of Jardel Poon-Lewis. But they have to play how they were playing in the first half, middle of the first half, when they were very relaxed, making the right decisions, keeping the possession of the ball, distributing it well, playing very high percentage passes. They can't take any risks. This is not the time for that. CSW, of course, will be taking all the risks. They have nothing to lose and everything to gain by pressing this ACPOS team. This ball from Che Benny is up to Jaheim McPhee. Booted clear from the middle of the CSW defense. It's going to go straight to Poon Lewis. He's going to roll and wince. Take his time with this ball as we enter the final minute of regulation time.
In his defense, he has been in some discomfort ever since Ryan Frederick bundled that goal in the 70th minute. Poon Lewis. He's performed admirably since. As we see here, a bit of a retaliation by, it looks to be Burnett on Sion Thomas, who just ushered that one out of play, and he's shown a caution. But for striking out at the player, I think referee Bacchus lets him off the hook. Meanwhile, 5 minutes additional is being shown by fourth official Changia as referee Bacchus tries to sort out whatever took place on that far side. Let's have a look at it again. As we see Thomas, maybe an arm was raised, and as he went to ground there, seems as though Burnett retaliated, Jovan.
Yeah, it looked to be a slip from Sion Thomas. Nothing too intentional in that. We've seen a lot of players lose their footing in this match and the previous one. 5 minutes is an eternity though, so everyone would want to keep their heads. Don't want to cost your team the match at this point.
Certainly good to see the smiles on this Central Soccer World bench. They're chasing the match. Just under 4 minutes left in added on time. But they've done well. They've acquitted themselves well in this second half to come from 3 goals down and to put the match into the situation that it is right now. Really, AC Port of Spain have to be vigilant in order to preserve all 3 points.
At the end of the first half, we called it a stroll to halftime, and it certainly has been a little more anxious to the end here. So credit to Central Soccer World. They did come out in the second half to play. Still have 3 minutes to be played in this. Please stay tuned.
Yeah, at the moment it's a throw into AC Port of Spain. They're not in too much of a hurry to retrieve the football. Instead, Wiley does so for Eastman. Will get us restarted now. Good defending by Wiley, and again he goes after the errant ball, returns it to Eastman, who will try to make his way forward and in turn push his team forward along this near side. Recovered. And that's going to be Central Soccer World ball. Repelled by Eastman. Central Soccer World still trying to find a way to get forward. Possession recycled. Jason Joseph is aiming it towards the far side, and that's a dangerous challenge there by Keelan Burnett. He also has to be careful. He was cautioned a short while ago. perhaps even escaping harsher judgment from referee Bacchus. Mirez is back on his feet. And this is a free kick as we have one more look at just what transpired there. Burnett just backing into his man and going under Mirez, who was challenging for the header.
It's just about 1 more minute remaining in this match. Don't want to speak too soon, but how do you feel about this second Central versus Town match in match week 2 of the second round?
And Jovan, as we see Benny just trying to release the run of Jabari Charles, a hard worker indeed. He's come on in place of Cedale McLean, and that time Maurice Ford just erring on the side of caution. But I think that this match certainly has not turned out as the first 15 minutes might have indicated. AC Port of Spain really in control during that period, and by the balance of play in that period, one would have thought that it would have won this match much more comfortably, as referee Bacchus brings us to an end. But in the end, all's well that ends well, certainly in the eyes of AC Port of Spain. 3-2 winners over Central Soccer World, and for the boys from the central parts of Trinidad and Tobago, certainly though they can hold their heads high for a performance of this nature, certainly a second half performance that has brought them back to within a goal. Or started the day rather in 8th position, and those 3 points certainly will serve them well. Central Soccer World, however, will see a 3-match winning streak broken, including taking the scalp of Police FC last weekend. They'll go back to the drawing board though, looking ahead to their next match against the table toppers La Hoqueta Rangers. AC Port of Spain, meanwhile, will oppose the Defence Force next week. Here's a quick look at how things transpired early on. AC Port of Spain really with not much of resistance, and they took the lead in the 5th minute through Shondell Augustus. But then this one was an absolute blinder. Kyle Bartholomew, 3 touches, and then beyond the despairing dive of Keston Guy in goal for Central Soccer World, it put them, AC Port of Spain, 2-0 up. Michelle Punanjaran forced a reflex save there out of Guy, and then in the second half, Cedale McLean able to extend the lead, making it 3-0, and then the Goblin celebration, which earned them a caution from referee Keelan Bacchus. He didn't mind it too much, because at that time, really and truly, AC Port of Spain were cruising along at 3-0. There you see the yellow card being delivered. But then all of a sudden this match turned around. Central Soccer World able to find footing on the attack, that time forcing a brilliant reflex save out of Jadel Poon-Lewis, and then this one, a loose ball from the cross, turned in by their captain Ryan Fedrick. He was substituted shortly after, once Jadel Poon-Lewis received his treatment, and his replacement, the man who also took the captain's armband, Dion Lewis, latched onto a poor back pass and was able to beat Poon-Lewis for a second time in this match. 3-2 and game on. Central Soccer World continued to try to force the issue. That time a wayward shot from Jason Joseph. And then here, later on, the frustrations of their efforts boiling over as Keelan Burnett retaliated on Cian Thomas and was shown a yellow card. Lucky to escape with only a yellow. And that man, Jadel Poon-Lewis, who was anticipating a quite comfortable clean sheet in the end, is left beaten twice, but still though doing enough to maintain the lead for AC Port of Spain. Final score 3-2 in their favor. That brings brought the action as far as on the field goes for this Saturday afternoon in the Ascension tournament, as the focus will switch to the St. James Barracks tomorrow for another exciting affair. Stay with us. We are continuing to wrap things up here from the Arima Velodrome, where we just witnessed a match that was certainly a tale of two halves, belonging to AC Port of Spain in the first half, and then Central Soccer World waking up in the second to push them all the way to the wire before a 3-2 final scoreline. So a lot of goals here at the Arima Velodrome. A 3-3 draw followed by a 3-2 result in favor of AC Port of Spain. I am eager, as Jovan Ravello is, to hear from the protagonists this afternoon.
With Randolph Boyce, the head coach of CSW. Can you tell me how you felt about today's performance?
A kind of two-sided performance. The first half was slow, lethargic, very disappointing by our standards. The second half, we inject a little more energy, a little life into the game, press the opponent a little higher up the field. And I'd say credit to the opponents tonight. They did a good job. They see out the game. And sometimes it's like that. But at this level, we had to be a little more consistent to get the results that we're looking for.
What were the instructions coming out of the break?
We had to show more character. We had to be more disciplined. We had to show desire. We had to work harder. That kind of stuff. They responded to it, but a little too late.
Did you feel that you had an opportunity to at least get a point from this match?
Yeah, definitely. In the second half, you know, the game is a game of two halves. The second half, we work hard. We could have tried to force our issue to get the tie-in goal, but it didn't happen like that tonight. So we had to learn from it.
And how do you press on from a result like this?
It's tough to press on because the next opposition is Rangers, and it's a tough opposition. So we work cut out, you know. So we go with it.
All right. Well, all the best in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Central Soccer World head coach Randolph Boyce there expressing or echoing the sentiments that it really was a tale of two halves from Central Soccer World, as AC Port of Spain stamped their authority and their class on the first half before they fought back from a really difficult position in the second period. In the end, though, coming up short as AC Port of Spain came away with a 3-2 win here at the Arima Velodrome. Standing by, Jovan Ravello will hear the thoughts of the winning coach, Walt Noriega.
We're here with Walt Noriega, the head coach of AC POS. Can you tell me how you felt about today's performance?
A bit of mixed feelings. I think the team did well in the first half. We executed the game plan in the first half. I think the second half, the boys got a little complacent and allowed the team back in the game.
Started really well. Was it too much of a good start for you that led to the complacency?
I believe so. I believe we get a bit drunk in honey where we realized that the team wasn't doing much. They was in total control and a bit of complacency stepped in.
How did you all take it over the line? I know it was very tough for you in the second half.
No, well, I'm glad that the boys did manage to take it to the line, because it will build character for the boys, because we've been dominating games but not seeing out games. We've been in control of games and teams keep coming and scoring us late in the game, and it is a kind of disheartening feeling. But I'm glad tonight that the boys showed character to see out the game tonight.
A good 3 points for you. How do you prepare for your next match?
Well, we go back in training and do the work that we gain results with. The things that we're doing, the boys seeing that we gain results, it's showing on the way we passing the ball around the pitch, we moving the ball. It's now just to execute and to avoid the goals that we conceded.
Thank you very much, head coach of AC POS, Walt Noriega.
Thanks, no problem.
I come away with a phrase used by Walt Noriega that his team was drowning in honey, leading to the close finish that we saw in this one. AC Port of Spain, after going 3-0 up as early as the 50th minute, having to fight and claw to earn all 3 points, as Central Soccer World came back to force the issue. 3-2 the final score here at the Arima Velodrome. And of course, they were able to see it out on the backs of the player of the match who's standing by with Jovan Ravello.
Here with Che Benny, one of the players of the match this evening. How do you feel of the performance, your performance personally, and then the performance of ACPOS?
Well, my performance was great. You know, last game I threw away a penalty to draw the game for my team, and, you know, I was down on myself. And I think my performance today, you know, I helped my team. I had 2 assists today, so, yeah, my performance was good.
So there were at points that you all were in full control of the match. Was that something that you all spoke about?
Yes, it was something that we talked about because, you know, we are a team who pass the ball very well, and I think you know, once we do that, you know, there's not a team who could stand with us, you know. So yeah.
How do you string together performances like these? How do you consistently perform the way that you did today?
Well, every game I try to do my best. Every game I try to do my best. You know, before games, you know, I look back at the last game I played to see what was the mistakes I made. You know, so it's just about, you know, thinking about what you want to do before the game and after the game, and yeah.
Now there are a lot of coaches and scouts looking at this league. Are you planning to make another appearance in the higher ranges of the national game, or hoping to?
You know, my dream is to play for Trinidad and Tobago, you know, and that's why I'm doing this. I love this, and, you know, hopefully one day I'll get my opportunity to show the world what I can do, you know. Yeah.
Congratulations on a good performance. Che Benny, our man of the match.
Thank you.
So that brings the action here at the Arima Velodrome to a close. Match week 11 in the Ascension tournament of Trinidad and Tobago. You would have just witnessed AC Port of Spain come away with a 3-2 win over Central Soccer World. The action shifts to the St. James Police Barracks tomorrow afternoon, where it's the home team taking on Cunupia FC. You can join us again then. For now, though, on behalf of Jovan Ravello and the entire team, good night.